She's mediocre, really. Of all the okers, she's the meatiest.
You are like a earlobe. You're just there, just wobbling.
You stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
Dirt-eating piece of slime. You scum-sucking pig. You son of a motherless goat.
You are a sad, strange little man.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Oh, right! To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people!
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
You look like a blueberry.
It's the Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends podcast.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I didn't know you started.
Just wondering if we were ever going to go today.
I was just kind of zoning out a little. Hey, everybody. It's
13 seconds in, a new record for Sadie, zoning out.
I didn't know you started it. Shut up, Shawn.
All right. Well, here we are.
Yes. Welcome to the newest episode of Sadie and Shawn Have No Friends. And we are sponsored by the amazing folks at Tallent Co. Real Estate. Tallent Co. Real Estate, they're your real estate experts when it comes to Northern Colorado. Well, really anywhere you want to buy a house, but if you want to hit up Northern Colorado, they will take care of you. Their website is actually...
What if I want to buy a house in Hawaii?
I know Amy could help you do that.
Oh, sweet. I've been
and then
watching
you can
this
invite
show
us
called
to
Hawaii Life.
Right?
I've been watching this show called Hawaii Life. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's people that move from other parts of America to Hawaii and they start a life there, and it's one of those shows where they like have 3 houses that they walk through and they hate all of them, but then they end up falling in love with one. But the thing that I don't understand the most is, like, if I've looked at real estate in Hawaii, it's expensive. Like, you're looking at $1 million minimum to buy a shack. These people are like, I got a $200,000 budget, and they move into these mansions. I'm like,
yeah, but a lot of them actually, I guess I have seen a couple of these, I think. But aren't they mostly like retired folks where they probably sold off the business in their house? No?
No,
Oh.
they're like people our age with kids and dogs and normal lives that just decide, I'm going to quit my job at managing Costco and I'm going to go live in Hawaii and have no job here or anything.
Well, I don't think if they're buying a house in Hawaii, they're probably, and they're our age, they probably like started some app that tells you if you're ugly or not. Which, do you remember that app? Do you remember that? It would
my
scan
kids
your
still
face,
play with it.
and you would get to see how ugly you are.
It always gives me, it's on a scale of 1 to 10, and Shay always messes with it and always gives me a 2. And so then my kids make fun of me and I have to play along like, yeah, I know I'm ugly, but deep down inside it hurts my feelings.
Well, so when that app came out, I totally forgot what it was called, but it was just so good. It was just, that app came out, and I remember I was doing a live broadcast with a sales rep named Dan. And Dan's, like
He's
later,
a 10.
he's a fucking 10. I love Dan so much. And, but he's an elder gentleman and he is pretty straight and narrow. And so I'm like, okay, you do it first, Dan. And it said he was 10 out of 10. And I'm like, oh my
surprised.
God, I'm going to be 20 over 10. Nope. I got a 2. I got a 2 again. And I was
We're both 2s.
So, but I was like, well, shit. Now Dan knows he's hotter than me. He's going to use it against me.
He did. He left radio before you. He was like, man, I have a future outside of this business where no one can see my face.
Good for you.
So Dan got out and then you got out and I interrupted you and we were still talking about Tallent Co. Real Estate. So you should finish up your little spiel about them because I had to tell you about Hawaii.
Okay, well, that show could not wait. Shawn had to tell us about a show he was watching. Anyway, thank you to Tallent Co. Real Estate for being our main show sponsors. Do you know? Well, I'm not. Oh, you know what? I want to mention something before we really get into it. And that's the fact that the other night it was nice outside and Ryan likes to, during the summer, take walks at night. And I don't like it. I don't like bugs. I'm the one that gets attacked by bugs.
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death? The fuck is that? Shit! I'm dying in this fucking country-ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck? I can't see pollen. Let's get the fuck out this country, motherfucker. I can't even see me.
Me, not him. It's like mosquitoes don't bite him, but with me, it's just like a massacre. So I'm walking around swatting these bugs away and I look stupid. And I also said I will go on a walk, but I will be wearing my slippers because I'm not going to put shoes on. I've done this all day and I'm just going to wear the slippers. So I go and I shit you not, I'm walking with Ryan and I'm complaining and I'm swatting my hands all around. And this woman walks up because we're like passing each other on the trail. And she goes, I am listening to your podcast right now. What are the odds that I'm in my fucking slippers and pajamas? I wasn't wearing a bra. I was luckily wearing some sort of cardigan to cover the tiggle bitties, but she was so nice. But I just have to say, because she said that it's like her guilty pleasure when she walks. And I'm like, wait a second. So that kind of means I'm walking too. Like if this lady's walking and listening to me. So that's the argument I'm going to go in with Ryan next time he wants me to go on a nature walk. I'm already walking.
That quite possibly might be the dumbest shit you've ever said in your life. And
Hey,
that's saying something, but you tell yourself whatever you have to.
wait,
Speaking
what's dumb about it? I don't like to go on walks.
No, that you're going to use that you're walking because you're in her ears. I mean, come on. Man.
Listen, it's a stretch, but I can fight this battle. No. So another thing is I get so awkward with people and I don't know what to say. And I should have said, what's your name? And I didn't. And it's kept me up for like days. We got home after our walk and I'm like, I didn't even ask that kind lady what her name is. What a dick I am. So if she's listening, which I hope she still is after our encounter, I'm sorry I didn't ask for your name.
I'm sorry that this is the best thing you can find to walk to as well. Like, I don't know. I need some sort of, if I'm going to just listen, I like to, when I'm running, I've already said this, but I like to watch true crime shows because they
John's
keep me,
a promoting machine.
well,
folks.
they keep me like I have to watch. I can't take my eye off of it and look at something else and get distracted and that ruins my run. I have to watch. And so that's why I do that. But if I'm not watching TV and I'm trying to exercise, I need something that's like upbeat and
everybody likes different things.
This is not what I love that people listen, but to me, this is like listen when you're not doing anything at work or on your way home from work, but walking. I feel honored.
And I have to say that
I've inspired, that you've inspired, that we've inspired somebody to walk.
Oh my, well, she probably walked before. It's not like she started walking because we encouraged her. That's the last thing we do on this podcast. She looked like a regular walker. And now I'm like so honored that
What's a regular walker look like?
She looked like she knew what she was doing. She wasn't like me, like waving at mosquitoes and, hating every minute of this.
Speaking of pissing off people that are fans, though, let me talk to you about bugs for a second. Okay. So last year, I had a real bad mosquito problem going on in my backyard, and they were just eating everybody, not just me. But we couldn't even go in our backyard because you would get eaten alive if you went back there. And so I went on the radio and I was talking about it. And I was like, "Man, bug spray's not working. Those tiki torches aren't working. Nothing's working." And so there's this lady, and she hits me up, and she was like, "Hey, I make these candles, and I swear by these candles, they will get rid of your bugs." And I was like, "That's cool. All right, sweet. Awesome. I love that you make these. What's your website?" She's like, "Here it is, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to bring you one. When are you at the radio station next?" So I told her when I was there. Nice lady. She brings me a bag with the candle or a couple of candles. And then next thing I know, she's like, "What's your email address so I can send you an invoice?" And so
well, yeah, she's probably a small business owner. Do you think it was free because you're a superstar DJ?
I mean, I don't expect, let me tell you, I don't expect anything for free. I really don't. I promise you that. I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't want anything. Yeah, I don't want anything for free. Like that's not why I threw that out there. I was just looking for suggestions. But I also don't like feeling like I was tricked or duped. And so it felt like she was giving me a gift to like try it out. And I talk on this podcast, I talk on the radio, had this candle work like magic. It's illegal in radio. They call it plugola. If you take a product and then you talk about the product because you got it for free. But I can say that I bought the candle and that it worked really well. And I may have done that. But when she sent me an invoice, I was like, hold up. I'm
So
not.
what
First
did
of
you
all,
do? You
it's been a
paid
year
it,
now.
Shawn.
It was this time last year. I have not paid it, and I have not used the candle either because I'm half tempted. Like if she ever hits me up again and is like, "Hey, you never paid me for that candle," I'm gonna be like, "Bitch, come get your candle. I don't want it."
Okay,
And
Max
quit tricking
Powers.
people.
Well, first of all, I feel like you should try the candle. What if it is worth it? Second of all, how much is the candle? How much
If
was
I
the invoice?
remember correctly, it was expensive. I mean, it's one of those big, like I would compare it to like one of the bigger Yankee candles for reference, and I think that it was $50.
Just give her the money.
I'm gonna need a raise.
I'm gonna need you to,
I don't have $50 for mosquito candles, bro.
So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to that woman walking. And then speaking of of payola, plugola, it's something that's very commonly known in radio because we have to, well, I don't anymore, but you have to take tests on it pretty
Yeah, twice a
regularly.
year.
Yeah. So, and they're like legit, like you have to get this right.
Well,
And
yeah, you'll
so,
get yourself locked up, by the way, just so people understand the magnitude. This is like throwing a chair off of a bar in Nashville of Morgan Wallen stuff. If you accept gifts and then you talk about those gifts on the radio, or you accept money and you talk about whatever this person paid you for, it's
oh
like
yeah.
felony, lock your ass in jail sort of stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal. But I worked with a partner in a small room and he was really smart. So I'd be like, hey, Scott, if I were to do this, and I just read the question, what do you think I would do in that situation? The right thing. And he'd be like, it's C. I'd be like, yay, thank you. And then it just kind of got to a point where he just did it for me. Like, I don't even know if I should admit that, but he just did it for me. And I'd be like throwing a couple wrong ones. I don't want anyone getting suspicious.
So the way that they do it at this new company that I work at now is they have a program where you can't fast forward because that's what I always did. Like I'm
Oh,
not going to sit through a
yeah.
45-minute video presentation about the same thing I've seen 14 times. So I would fast forward and just do the test. Well, you can't fast forward now, so I'll like play it in the background when I'm doing something else and mute it, and
Yeah.
then I'll come back and answer the questions. The problem is they changed some of the rules and they changed some of the wording. So last time I didn't just get some wrong, I failed the test. And so now I'm on this program where like I have to do it more often.
You
So
need a
instead of doing
Scott in
it
your
twice a
life.
year, I'm getting it like monthly. They're like, "Oh, because of results on a previous assessment, you are now assigned this." And I was
Shut
just
up.
like,
Now you have to do
"Oh, I should have
more.
taken the 45 minutes to watch the stupid video and get the questions right."
It's true. They make it so you can't fast forward. And in the entire 16 years that I worked there, it was the same one every
It's different
year.
now.
Same question. So I guess I'm glad I jumped when I did, when I had a B average. I wasn't the best student, but you know what? I got the job done. But yeah, fond memories of doing that. Now,
I'm sure every company, I mean, we only know radio because that's what we've done our whole lives, but I'm
mhm.
sure every business and organization has some sort of rules and weird stuff like the FCC stuff that we had to go through, and they have to take these same tests, and I'm sure that they failed too. We're not the
Yeah,
only
Sean,
ones.
or they have someone do it for them. I
Our
don't know.
stuff
I'm out
though
of the
is so
business.
stupid. It's like seriously when you think about it, like you can't
I'm like, I'm
receive a
not
gift card
running.
to talk about this person on the radio. My think about my wife who works in the criminal justice system, and like she takes a test. It's like life saving stuff. Like you have to. It's a big deal that you know the answers to this. Who gives a shit if I know the answers to Plugola? It's not life changing.
Can I also tell you the questions? It's not even just plugola in these tests. That's just a small part where it's, again, you can't take, somebody can't come up and be like, I'll give you a mattress if you slip it in. And then and so
Slip
you're
what
like,
in?
hey, shit, I walked into that. Well done, Sean. But they would say, like, you'll get this product and I'll give it to you for free. And we don't have to like do the rules. Let's just slip it in as you're talking. And so
Quit
that's
saying
what it
slip it
is.
in. It's distracting.
You know what I mean. And if you're
I do
not
know what you
12,
mean.
they'll get what I'm
It's still
saying.
distracting. Can you use
Okay.
different verbiage?
Just breathe, Sadie. Anyway, so yeah, this test was amazing, but it also had like relationship questions where it's like, is it okay to, take an ass print on the printer of your ass.
That's the one I got wrong.
And I have to
yes.
say,
It's not okay.
Sean's like frantically shredding in the other room.
Does that affect anyone else's ability to do their job? Because if it
Well,
doesn't,
maybe
I
if
feel like
someone's
it should
trying
be
to
allowed.
copy something and you just won't pull your pants up. Yeah, Sean, I'd say that's a problem. I'd say HR needs to get allowed.
No wonder I got it wrong. I didn't think about it that way. I
Yeah,
only
but
take
I mean,
copies
what
of
I'm
my
saying,
penis after hours.
stop talking about your wiener, Sean. We're a reputable show. Yeah, but it would ask the dumbest questions. Like, you're right. You know, my best friend Kendra is she's a nurse practitioner, but she has to take these tests, and you're right. She's like, I've studied for 6 hours today, and our tests were always like, should you slap a child while you're at a live remote? And I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, well, what's the kid doing? I mean, you need to be a little more. So if I got some questions wrong, it's probably because they weren't explained well enough.
That's just it with the copy machine. Before there was cameras on your phone, how were you supposed to send a dick pic?
Sean,
You
Sean
slap
didn't
that
have a
bitch up on-
printer at home, a
You put
copy
that
machine.
thing up there on the copy machine, and it had the fax or the email function, so you could send your wiener picture from the copy machine straight to your email. Then you could email that off to anybody you wanted to.
You
I did not do that.
could. Anyway, we don't
I
work
didn't
for
do it
that
at
company
I didn't
anymore.
do it
So.
at the radio station. That's a bad thing. But the bowling alley was a different story.
Well, yeah. Can I tell you what I did last night?
No.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. We're cutting it short today.
Why would you ask such a stupid ass question? Go
Because I
ahead.
want you to be ready.
I'm ready.
Dang it, Sean. I want you to be ready because last night I did something and I need to just get your opinion. And I honestly need to be told that I'm not a bad person.
Okay.
And so here's the
Most likely
story.
you probably are if you have that thought running through your head. Just prefacing this.
No, okay, here's essentially the story.
Okay.
Last night, Murphy, who is 6, had a school production, and it was very exciting. And we stood in the very back because there were so many people there. It was packed.
Was Ashton Kutcher there?
No, Ashton Kutcher's brother lives 1 block away from me, and his kids are older, like Sophie Cooper age.
Oh, okay. Sorry for
Yeah,
that.
he's out of the music stage, and so
Okay.
we go, and my mom sat in the very back, and everyone stood up. And well, not everyone, but a lot of people were standing up. And I don't feel like my mom saw any of the show. She just kind of sat there. But it reminded me of when I was in school, I played the violin. What a fucking nightmare. I wasn't good at that. Here's what I wanted to do. I had this dream of playing the fiddle like Charlie Daniels or Boyd Tinsley or these amazing fiddlers. Well, you don't learn fiddling dumb shit in middle school orchestra. And so I was always last chair. Now, if you're not familiar with orchestra, there's a first chair and then there's the last chair and then there's people in between. And my music teacher did not like me.
The first chair is the best.
Huh?
The first chair is the best.
Yes, first chair is the best. That's always the kid that, goes home and like plays their instrument and shit all night. I didn't do that. I did not do that. And so I wasn't very good, but I also wasn't inspired by what we were being taught. And so, but my teacher was such a bitch. She hated me. And she would always do this at the beginning of the semester. We'd have to test in, and she would always announce who got what. And so she'd be like, in the string section, she'd go through the violin and she'd be like, first chair goes to blah, second chair goes to blah, third chair, fourth chair, fifth chair, seventh chair, ninth chair. And then she'd go, and last chair goes to Sadie because she hated me. And you know what I did every semester? I'd stand up and go, yeah, baby. This is a winning streak, y'all. No one has ever been in last chair except for me this many times. And oh my God, it pissed her off. But that's the backstory on me learning the violin. And so I remember having these programs, and this teacher was like psycho. She would kick parents out if they weren't paying attention or the first concert I did, my dad fell asleep. And it wasn't even like just kind of silent. His head was back. I could see the whole thing. I thought, holy shit, my dad's going to get kicked out. And he's just, which I don't blame him. It was a very boring show. But, and then the second show that I did that they came to, I was so excited they came and they stood in the back because it was so busy and they waved at me and I waved at them. And then at the end of the show, everybody ran to their mom and dad and got kudos for how good they did. And my parents were not there and I didn't have a ride. And so, we didn't have cell phones. So my mom and dad went home to watch ER and they forgot that I was at a show. I thought they were there the whole time, these slippery bitches. And then in the end, I had to stand outside the school and it was dark and like they turned the lights off. This wasn't like how it is today where somebody babysat you and was like, what, they were like, well, bye, Sadie. And I'm like, where are my parents? And so finally, I don't know, one of them sat up in bed that night and was like, holy shit, Sadie. And then they came and picked me up and I was sitting outside. And that's where I believe I lost trust in all people. But going to Murphy's last night, it's kind of one of those things where it is really fun to watch, but it's also, you're kind of counting down the songs. Like, how many songs are they singing? And it's like 6, and then I'm counting them down. We have 2 songs left. Because I just want to go home and again, take my bra off. And that's my story. Thanks for listening.
I really thought that there was going to be more to
I
it.
literally think, I'm not shitting you. I literally think if Shawn feels like I'm going into a long story, he just turns it to my camera, and then I think you left. Did you leave and go to the bathroom?
I think I got the synopsis. You went to your child's choir concert last night, like all parents do. And I don't think, by the way, that because you asked if you were a bad person, I don't think that makes you a bad person, because I'm pretty sure every parent in the history of the world has done exactly what
I
you
don't
did
know.
last
I
night.
go to a school.
They give the programs and like all can a lot of times, because Shay was in band and you don't know what the song is because there's no words, but it has a title, and I would try to decipher what the song was versus the title to see where we are on the program so that I could figure out how much longer I've got.
Yeah, okay. So, but does Shannon do that? Because Ryan doesn't do that.
I
He's
don't think
like,
she does. Yeah,
encore, and I'm like, the car started.
right. And Shannon goes super early too. Luckily, I work like in the afternoon that goes into the evening,
So
and
she
so I can show up
leave.
late. But
Yeah.
Shannon will be the first one there, ready to go, staking out spots, right? Because she wants to get the perfect pictures and stuff. I was like, you're already gonna have to sit there for 3 hours and listen to them play really bad music. You
Yeah.
want to go for 2 hours beforehand and just sit there and twiddle your thumbs?
Well,
But
and
she doesn't
also
care.
sitting front row, and last night's show was 30 minutes, so it was totally doable. I stood the whole time. It was fine. But like if you're gonna go to a 3-hour orchestra concert, which is so fucking annoying because in middle school, that's like something they have to do. They
Mhm.
either have to play an instrument or they have to sing. And of course, my kids are like, we'll do choir. Well, then I get sucked into going. And I ended up doing the same thing to Cooper when he was in middle school. I got the times wrong, so we went to Super Target because we had time to kill, and we walked in, and they're like, "Thank you," and everybody was like clapping, and
It was over.
it was done.
That was perfect.
And I'm like, "That was great."
I mean, I think it would be different if I'm being for real. If Shay was into it, she hates it.
Yeah.
She was playing the trumpet. This is the first year she's not. She hated it. And so it's not like she was excited to have us there. So I didn't feel bad. If it was like her pride and joy and she wanted to be the biggest trumpet player in the history of the world, maybe I would get more excited about it. But they also, at the school they were going to, it wasn't just like her band. It was
Oh
her
yeah.
band, which is the beginning band, because she's no good either. And then it
Okay,
was the
Shay.
intermediate. Then it was the intermediate band. Then it was the main band. Then they had to play like a couple of songs together as a group. And I'm just like, oh my God, can you dismiss after the beginning band? Our kids clearly don't give a shit and they're not good at their instruments. So can we be dismissed?
Let them be free.
Do I have to stay and watch Mozart play too? Because I don't want to.
And I remember that, like, they would kind of trick you in that way where they would be like, no one can leave till the end.
Yeah.
Like, once your part is done, you better be there It was damn, I can't believe it. It was pretty rough.
They make
But
us the parents, like, it's a requirement. They'll stand at the doors and not let you leave.
they
You have to
chain
help
it.
pick up the chairs because they put all
Yeah,
the
we
chairs
did that
out on the
last
floor, and
night.
so, yeah, they make you stay and do that, so you have to stay till the bitter end, and then
Yeah.
they'll watch you, and they like counting how many chairs. That guy only put 2 chairs away. That guy put
And
10.
then there's like 30,000 people trying to put chairs on 2 chair racks. So we're all just standing there in a giant pile. It's just it's ridiculous.
Yes,
And
but it's a thing that every parent has to go through. My parents went through it. I played the saxophone because my mom and this was non-political,
loved
by the
Kenny
way.
G.
No, it wasn't Kenny G. It was somebody else in the late 90s, early 2000s who was known for playing the saxophone, and she was not a political person, but it was all over the news and everywhere, and so she thought it was cool. Bill
Wait,
Clinton.
oh.
He played the saxophone with somebody cool, like some rock band on Saturday Night Live or
No, I
something.
think he played it on Arsenio Hall,
Oh, maybe it was
and it was
Arsenio
just
Hall,
him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it was him? He wasn't with anyone?
I
Well,
don't think
anyways, it
so.
made my mom think that it was the coolest instrument ever. She was like, "You have to play it." So, I did it, and I was horrible at it, and luckily, my dad was a good dad. A bad dad, but a good dad, and you had to do, like, a practice form, and every
Mhm.
week you had to practice for, like, so many hours a day, and you had to mark it, and your parents had to sign off that you did it. Every week, my dad would just sign that thing. He didn't even look at it, and I didn't practice ever. Never. I never practiced.
Oh,
I didn't think
really?
he wanted me to practice because I was so terrible that he would just be like, "Yeah, just give me the paper and I'll
Yeah, I
sign it,
had a
but don't
violin at
practice."
home that I'd pop open and be like, "Twinkle, twinkle," but it's like, it was just
I had a
grating.
long walk, and even though I played, like, a smaller I didn't play a big saxophone, I played a smaller saxophone, it was heavy in that case, and I was
Yeah.
a little skinny kid that had no muscles whatsoever, and I had to walk with that thing every day, and so there was certain days where I would just, like, hide it in my locker, and that was against the rules. You couldn't do that. You had to take it home every day, but it hurt my arms bad,
Oh, to practice.
and so I didn't even bring it home half the time.
Your little spindly arms couldn't handle it.
I do remember though one time at Christmas, my mom was like, "You should show off to the whole family when we all gather for Christmas, like the extended family, and play some songs. And you can
Oh,
almost like busk and you can put your case up and people will give you money." And I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And I got shut down after a song and a half. One of my distant uncles came up and he was like, "Dude, turn that fucking thing off right now."
I love that because have you ever seen the show Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No, of course I have
It's
not.
so
Is it
good.
Big Daddy?
It's got Larry David as the star of it, and he wrote it, and he's so funny. He's the same guy that created Seinfeld, so it's kinda like that goofy humor, but there's one episode where he goes to his friend's house, and the mom of the wife of the friend is like, "Our daughter wants to sing every or do a show," and everyone's like, "Oh, okay." And she comes out, and she's like, "The sun'll come out," and she's horrible, and it shows Larry David, and he's like, "Fuck is this?" And so halfway through the song, he walks up and he goes, "Enough with that." And he starts clapping and he's like, "Right, everybody, that was good." And everyone was mortified, like, "Oh," and the kids started crying. But I always think of that and I'm very big on when my kid, like before her show last night, my parents came over and Sophie and her boyfriend came over for dinner. And the whole time she was like, "I'm gonna do a show for you guys." And I'm like, "The hell you are. We're about to go to your school and watch you do a show. We just want to talk for a little bit." But so I always shut it down because I'm like 92% of people don't want to see your kid do a show.
It's
Thanks for
just you.
listening.
It's just you though. Like
Shut up. If you came to my
it's not
house,
like you're well, yeah, if I was there, then you have a guest and then you have an excuse. All right, we have a guest, they don't want to see it, but you should let your kid perform for you a little bit.
dingus, that's the whole point is we had guests last night
Your
and
daughter is not your guest.
dummy, we had my parents came over for dinner and
That's not
Sophie
your
and her
guest either. That's still just your normal family.
I'm just saying,
You should have let
in
that's why you're a
general,
shit
when
human.
Sophie was
You should have let Murphy perform for you.
she did for 30 minutes and I ate it all up. She'd look in the crowd and I'd dance a little bit. Like I was vibing and I was pretty excited about
How
the
was the show though? Because that's one of my favorite ages for sure. I'm excited. Boone hasn't started kindergarten yet, but he's going to next year. And I actually do look forward to because it's a lot different than the middle school band and orchestra where you're there for 4 hours. Like you said, it's a half an
Yeah, it's
hour.
really cute.
And you've got half the kids that are super into it, like it sounds like Murphy is, and then you got half the kids that are picking their butt and picking their nose and eating it and falling over
Oh,
and
she did that
knocking
too.
over props.
She fell off the riser.
Yeah, I
She
love that.
did. And I said, "Oh, okay." She goes, "You didn't see it?" I go, "No." She goes, "Everybody else did." I'm like, "This is my child, everybody. All the signs are there." But
Quentin
no,
was Quentin was definitely the booger picker. I caught him a few times picking his
you're
boogers up there.
there are always parents somewhere in the crowd who are like, "Stop it." They're looking at their kid. Stop it. It's a really cute age. And I will say it was like a baseball themed show. And it was cute. And again, it was 30 minutes. So it was enough. It was good. You got to hear six little cute, adorable songs, and then we got to go home and it was still light outside. But yeah, you get up into the older, if your kid's into that shit, you expect to live there. Bring a sack
Worth.
lunch because they're
It
going to
is
sing you so many songs you don't even want to hear.
it is the worst.
Okay.
All right, that's it. We're done for
Okay,
today.
wait.
That has been
I
fun.
have to say thank you to our friends at well, first we got to say thanks to our friends again at Talent Co Real Estate because they're just great. Amy and her team, they are your real estate experts. So be sure to give them a call and they're going to make it so easy to find what you want to sell, what you want to get rid of. They're going to take care of you. So just go to homeandnoco.com. And also thank you to our friends at Cristiana Salon and Spa, where I'm so excited because my niece is getting married. And I'm talking to Chris, the owner, about throwing a little girls' day where we could do nails and have that done. And it's just going to be amazing. Shawn, I'd love for you to be the only dude there because I
I'll
think
be
you'd
there.
fit right the fuck in.
With what? The nails?
Well, getting your feet rubbed and stuff.
Sounds good to me. I've never
That's
had
what
my
I'm
foot
saying. You
rubbed
would
before.
absolutely love it. And Shawn would be drinking champagne and telling all the secrets. Shawn's are not a good secret keeper.
I'm not, but it doesn't take champagne for me to tell the secrets. I'll tell
So
you
true.
sober.
Shawn is the king of going, listen, you didn't hear it from me. And I always go, Shawn, I will never, ever tell you a secret, ever.
Life is better with a little bit of drama.
Okay, well, nobody tells Shawn your secrets.
Don't.
And thank you for listening. Subscribe, please, to our YouTube channel and be sure to set it on automatic download. And we love you.
Yes.